Well, the Future Game Show made us wait until the very last showcase for Frank Stone, but I'm going to say it was worth it because we got some stuff confirmed, got a chance to hear audio from a number of the scenes from the gameplay trailer. Also, there were some talking heads who said boilerplate promotional stuff, and some cool behind-the-scene pics, which we'll look at as well. Here's a new in-game shot introducing the mill. It's completely shut down, so this is likely from the 1980 timeline. There's a guy talking over it, but in this clip we can hear the characters talking as they're being watched from the shadows.
And a single-player narrative experience is definitely one of them.
Here's a shot of a dev at Supermassive Games working on a cutscene in Unreal. Luckily, we can zoom in on this file path to find out a couple of interesting tidbits. First, the game's project title is Ritual, which ties in with the whole Dead by Daylight theme nicely. And the specific scene they're working on is called Sam Addresses Tom. So there's 2 confirmed character names that we can drop onto our fact sheet. Here's a fly-through of the curio shop. If there are any details here that look like Dead by Daylight references, please let me know. This shot might be their in-house screenplay program with a map of a series of scenes coming off of a hub area. If you'll recall, we saw a bunch of this program in the Quarry behind-the-scenes footage. The angle keeps us from seeing exactly what's in all of those cells, but the file path lets us know that this is a scene of exploring the storm drain. So, probably this sequence. We already basically knew that the cop was searching the furnace room for the baby, who's in the basket, but it's nice to have it confirmed with this sound cue.
The casting of Frank Stone is...
Here's some entirely new footage with Goth Gal checking on Rivera, and then T-shirt guy and the cop.
Adventure game.
Wait, I'm coming with you.
Maddeningly, we don't get a great look at the cop's face, but I think this is enough to confirm that he's the same cop from the 1963 section, isn't it? Like just 17 years older? We've got them grabbing the camera in the curio shop, but no accompanying audio. This is a new shot of the cop arriving at the mill to look for the baby, which again reinforces the idea that it's the same cop based on the way that this shot seems designed to mirror this arrival at the mill in 1980. This interview segment confirms that the cop is a playable character in the 1963 segment, maybe the only playable character in that part.
With our 1963 storyline, which is investigation of a missing child, which leads us into a very dark, quite grisly serial killer horror story.
This is a new angle on the portal opening sequence we've seen, although there are no flashing lights here. Then Jacket Lady is next to machinery in the Observer's Tower, so that could be interesting to get to play. Here's a closer angle on the cop with a piece of gore, and it turns out his badge number is 424. That might not be important, but who knows? Lots of exploring the mill while being watched as the cop. An even closer look at the gore, but I still can't tell what it's supposed to be. In another huge reveal, this scene suggests that the garage the team hangs out in belongs to Goth Gal's family. And is it just me, or do we need to know everything about the game Cop Dash? Here they are prepping and shooting some footage. Note that they're quite obviously in a shed in the daytime. We noticed this shed in the flashes from the trailer. More importantly, though, since it's a shed, and we know that they were working on a scene set in a hut, which, 6 of 1, does this mean that we can identify this character as Tom? Probably Tom Rivera based on the other audio clip. And one of those 2 women is Sam? Also, is this an early test in a shed that they have access to? And they're so unimpressed by the footage that they decide to move the shoot to a location with some verite? Like an abandoned steel mill where a serial killer murdered a bunch of people? Interesting that in this concept art version of Frank, the mask's teeth are plausible rather than completely impossible as in the final version. Not that I'm unhappy that they went with the giant pincers, it's just neat to see that originally they were kept within the realm of realistic metalwork. Also, check out the weapons on his belt, a hammer and a saw. Disgusting! And here's the actual Frank Stone model, which looks amazing. On his belt, we've got the saw, the chisel, scissors, regular scissors, not the reversed ones he designed in his sketchbook, and something on the end. Maybe that's the hammer? So weird seeing the bloody trails of the fingers he bit off looking so fresh and detailed. This is also a very gray-haired Frank, which I originally thought meant he was coming back 17 years later. But obviously I was wrong, because here's gray-haired Frank fighting the cop in the furnace in 1963. More evidence that Frank Stone will not be in the 1980s section? Who knows? Here's the concept art that got used as the background of the website. Concept art of the arrival at the mill and the start of the storm drain sequence. And here's a final new clip with audio.
Come on, people! We got a movie to make!
Lots of great stuff here. Cop confirmed as 1963 protagonist, some behind-it, likely character names, and a full look at Frank Stone's costume. I know it's not a release date. We were all hoping for a release date, but it's a good reason to stay excited for whatever's next. For now, though, I've been the Hidden Object Guru. Thanks for watching. If you had a good time and you'd like to see more, there's buttons coming up to help with that. Questions, comments, and your own Frank Stone theories, go in the comment section below the video. Check out my game, Clown in the Woods, over at itch.io, where it's free to play. But, like, not on Opera. Apparently it doesn't work on Opera. I made it with a bad program. I recognize that now. Next one will be better. We'll see you back here for more Frank Stone as details allow, but until then I'll say that's right. Au revoir.